right. Hello, my name is Monica. I'll be your OET trainer for today. This video is supposed to help students understand how you can answer certain Part B question types, which involves answering and not just answering, but also identifying the correct question type, applying the right reading technique to the paragraph, and then coming back to the answer choices, and then by elimination, getting to the right answer. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this is a question type that I've taken from an official OET paper. The official OET paper's name is pneumothorax, so you can find it. Now, in this question type, the first thing we want to notice is that they have mentioned something about what is this email. It doesn't necessarily make a very huge difference whether it is an email or if it is a policy document, or if these are guidelines. It doesn't really create that much of a difference. So how about the question type? What is the email about pressure ulcers telling ward staff? When you look at it, it seems like it has given us a lot of details, but this is what we call a gist question. And why am I sure that this is a gist question? Because you will notice here that they're saying, what is the email about pressure ulcers? So that means the entire email is about pressure ulcers. And what is this telling ward staff about? That means this email is to a ward staff. And it is further confirmed when I see that the email is actually being sent to ward staff. And this entire email is about pressure ulcers. If the entire email is about pressure ulcers, that means in order to answer this question, I will have to look at the entire paragraph. And any question is not trying to get a specific answer out of me, then that means it's a gist question. A gist question basically wants you to kind of tell me what is the entire overview of this entire paragraph, is the entire text that you're reading. That means rather than just telling me about a specific point, a specific line, a specific sentence from the paragraph, I want you to tell me what kinds of ideas, what kind of information does the entire paragraph describe. So it's like reading an article. You don't, when somebody asks you, what are you reading? You don't really tell them that, okay, I'm reading this sentence of this particular paragraph and whatnot. You tell them that I'm reading an article about endometriosis, or I'm reading an article about a topic, pregnancy, its causes and its prevention techniques. So something around that. The most common errors that you're going to get in a gist question are going to be answer options, which actually talk about a small detail from the paragraph, which actually does not represent the entire paragraph, its overview. And this small detail is actually going to be incorrect because we are focusing on the overview, the overall picture of this paragraph rather than this specific thing. When you're trying to answer this question, you will have an answer option which is more paraphrased, because a gist answer is generally paraphrased because it is not trying to pick up words from a particular sentence. So another way for me to give you a wrong answer option would be for me to give you a word matching. So a student who doesn't understand what this question type is, who's the student who doesn't understand how we are supposed to read for this question type, that student would simply match words from the paragraph and would consider this to be the right answer, but it would actually be the wrong answer option. Another reason for why students select wrong answer choices for a gist question is also because they have this tendency to find out the right answer right after reading a question. No matter what question type it is, I will always suggest using elimination technique when you come to your answer options. Because if you show a student a particular sentence and then says, do you think this is the gist of the entire paragraph? The student cannot say with certainty most of the times, because the students are not very well used to recognizing paraphrases of languages, which is okay. That is a skill that you should work on as you're preparing for your OET exam. But at the same time, if an answer option is paraphrased, rather than trying to find the right answer, you should get into the habit of trying to eliminate the wrong answer choices. Because trust me, if an answer option is wrong, I have to put something in the answer option which actually is wrong. So it's easier to find out something that is wrong with an answer option rather than trying to recognize the correct answer and then complaining about, oh, the language was so difficult, I was not able to find it. The language is so different, ma'am. How could I possibly recognize this to be the answer? With all of that, if you happen to be a student who reads regularly, whose vocabulary is really good, and whose comprehension is really strong, then feel free to just look at the answer choices and get to the right answer right away without elimination. Sure, great. But most of the students are not like that. So you have to get used to the elimination technique. What I want you to do is, I want you to read your paragraph like a gist, and I want you to skim just the first sentence of your paragraph, read that carefully. And then afterwards, if you read the first sentence carefully, and then afterwards, simply skim the remaining paragraph. That's all. And you'll get to have an idea that, okay, these are the things they are talking about. And if you are able to identify that, then you should be able to provide me a summary of your paragraph, what kind of information it contains, that this is the summary, one, two, three, four, these are the three different things they're talking about. Remember, details do not matter here. So if you're reading about a topic that you're not aware of, that you're not familiar with, that you're finding the language or vocabulary really difficult for, no, just getting an inkling of the kind of information they're talking about is enough for us, nothing more than that. So let's, without any delay, let's read this. So we have recently had several cases of pressure ulcers in patients newly admitted to the ward. So they've had a lot of people who have been admitted to the ward, as you know, so you are already aware that this is a serious problem that in most cases could have been avoided. So one thing they tell me about this is that they have a lot of people who have been newly admitted to this with this serious problem, but it could have been easily avoided. So it could have been easily avoided. That's the first thing I find out. And for any new admissions, please assess the patient's risk factors, blah, blah, blah. So they want me to assess the risk factors. Once identified at risk of with pressure ulcer, patient should be educated. So these should be educated as well. There's a third thing I'm getting to find out. Encouraged or assisted to move themselves where possible. Okay, themselves if educated and moving if it is possible. However, they are trying to bring my attention to something. However, be aware that many patients will be reluctant. So this is a confusion that we can have. Move due to pain, of anticipation of pain, effects of sedation, their inability to appreciate. So multiple reasons that they have given me for not being able to move or being reluctant to move. Okay. It is the nurse's responsibility to ensure that the patients are repositioned. So even if the patients are reluctant, you have to ensure that this happens. Okay, and in a way that is not only therapeutic but also acceptable to them. So you don't have to force them, so you have to make them accept it as well at the same time. So that's a little condition that they are providing here. And that's it. If I'm not able to kind of tell you in my own words right now what I read from the paragraph, and rather I'm trying to go back to the paragraph and then use the exact words from the paragraph to talk about something. Or if a student right now is trying to recall the information from the paragraph and they can only remember words like reposition or something, that may be an indication, that may be showing you, telling you something that perhaps you're not reading for meaning, you're not reading for understanding of the ideas which are there, but rather you're reading passively, where you're only focusing on words, but the sentences are not making sense to you. So that is the number one issue. Now, like I said, I should be able to provide a summary for what I have read here. The first thing that I read was that they told me that the serious pressure ulcer disease condition is completely preventable. The admissions which are happening, those are preventable. And the first thing that they want me to do is that they want me to assess the patient for risk factors. Assess the patient for risk factors. The second thing they want me to do here is they want me to educate the patients. They want me to also move them where it is necessary. First, they want the patients to do that. And then they are warning me, kind of like warning me, be aware that, listen, patients will be reluctant to do this. So they can have multiple reasons. They could be worried about the pain. They could be worried about other things as well. I don't care about the details, but there are various factors which are very natural, which might create this reluctance. So they are then telling me that it is the nurse's responsibility, really, nurse's responsibility to make sure that the patients are moving, how you're moving them. That should not be by force, really. And that is something that the patient should agree with as well. And it is supposed to help them. So it's all supposed to be positive by yourself and by the patient as well. So this is the summary. Now, in my answer choices, what is possible is that I get a combination of these two, a combination of these two, a combination of these two, a combination of these, a combination of these, or a combination of all, or just one. Perfectly fine. Any of these I get in my answer and it would be correct. If I have to go back to my paragraph to check any details, I am not doing it right. Understand that. If a student is not able to provide this summary, we have a problem. Let's go to the paragraph. Let's go to the answer choices now and check. What is the email about pressure ulcers telling ward staff? There must be, these must be. So pressure ulcers are the what they are referring to. Pressure ulcers must be treated as soon as they are discovered. I didn't get this urgency about as soon as they are discovered. That's not something that they were trying to make a point of at all. I didn't get this urgency of must be, neither this nor that. So this is why this is going to be wrong. However, students are going to look at the word. Which particular word are they going to look at? They're going to look at the word treated. They're going to look at the word discovered. And they're going to think, yes, they talked about treatment, so let's choose this answer option. Yes, they talked about assessing this problem, so they talked about this as well. No, don't worry. Every answer option has a possibility to contain something that was given in the paragraph. Your job is to look at an answer option and figure out what is possibly incorrect. What is wrong with this answer option? That's your job. We have definitely provided something that is correct there, which will make you think that it could be the right answer. For example, here, treatment is one, discovered is one, but I didn't see anything regarding must be, that urgency, or that as soon as this happens. Nothing like that I provided, which is why I know that answer option A is with 100% certainty. I know that this is wrong. This is not the correct answer. Let's look at B now. Patients on the ward. Patients on the ward, the people who have pressure ulcers, have complained of discomfort from them. I didn't see any complaints. They use the word patients, which people would think about, okay, they talked about patients, yes, but they didn't talk about complaining. They talked about reluctance to move, but they didn't talk about complaining of discomfort from them. And notice that patients have done this. That means they have done it in the past, but we didn't get any such information. They're talking about things in a very general way, which is why I know they haven't talked about complaining of discomfort from them. A lot of students automatically would think this is the right answer because they would think that having discomfort from pressure ulcers is very common. I am a nurse, I am a doctor, I deal with patients who have pressure ulcers, and they talk about discomfort from them all the time. A lot of those students are going to forget that we have to find the answer from the text, not from their experience. OET specially designs question papers in such a way that a person who is specializing in a particular area is not able to necessarily benefit from that experience here, because it would not be fair for students who are nurses or who are physiotherapists. Because remember, physiotherapists or all different specialties of dentists, they're all getting the same question paper as you. So they do not want these people to be at an advantage, or they do not want you to be at a disadvantage. Okay. So yeah, coming back to this, answer option B would be incorrect. Because I know with 100% certainty that A and B are wrong, I automatically know my C answer option is going to be correct, because I've specifically told you what is wrong with these. Now looking at answer option C, there are chances of there being challenges, some issues. What are those challenges? Well, reluctance due to variety of issues in dealing with patients who have them, dealing with patients who have these pressure ulcers. And yes, I saw that they warned me that, listen, patients could be reluctant, but it's your responsibility to do this. They have told me, yes, due to this, due to that, due to that. So, yeah. And this is how you answer a just question. Remember not to choose answer options depending on word matching, depending on rather a small detail. Remember, this is the summary, and this is extremely general summary without getting into too much detail. And you should be able to get to the right answer just from this. So if you found this video helpful, I hope you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. See you then. Bye bye.